All right, and we are live here once again at dinner.
And a movie.
Ah,
Any movies today?
yes.
Hello. What do we have
Hello.
over here?
We've got
Akio?
Rakaya. Hello, Rakaya.
We're
Hello.
probably both saying it wrong, but
Yeah.
hello.
We apologize if so. So I'm Nasty Neal.
The Sandra Electric.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
Yeah.
what is this?
What it says our names.
Oh, it's a background.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry, guys.
It's a Nosferatu background. Anthony
Anthony!
Chobo. Hello, Neil. 13 years we've been friends.
Wow. Really?
Oh, very good. Well,
known the Chabots.
yeah. Say hello to Annabelle, Mr. Anthony Chobo.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right.
So
Saw Sonic is great. Cool. All right. So we saw 3 movies.
We did see 3 movies. One was Nosferatu from Mr. Eggers.
Yes. Bloody axe wound
Yes.
by some folks.
Shudder original.
Yeah. And
Grand finale.
New Year's Evil.
That's right, folks.
Yeah, it was a good time.
1980 classic.
Yes.
New Year's Evil.
New Year's Evil.
Over at our favorite Coolidge Corner Theater in Brookline, Massachusetts.
And so there's tons of Christmas horror, and I'm not against that. There's lots of horror that takes place in Halloween, obviously. Not a lot of New Year's, and not that we need a new one, but somebody out there, why not? We start filling up some of these other holidays. Get some of your
maybe
holidays.
After Arbor Day has its grand success, we could move on to New Year's.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right,
yeah.
We'll see. So don't take it. It's already been taken.
Right.
We've already claimed it.
Yeah. So we're gonna go in order for what we watched.
Sure.
So
We can do that.
Or do you want to go in order of
what we enjoy?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we don't really know who enjoys which thing.
Well, I definitely know which one I enjoyed the least. I'll say that.
What?
Yeah.
I can't imagine of the 3 which ones that could be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. We'll go there. We'll get there.
All right.
So
you want me to say the one I enjoyed the least?
We'll just start with
all right, Nosferatu.
And
that's not I'm saying what I enjoyed least, but we went to see Nosferatu, which I've been waiting for a long time to see. And I do have mixed emotions on it.
Okay.
And it's something I actually really would like to see it again.
Yes.
To cement. I think there's going to be stuff that I'm not in love with, and some stuff that I think is fantastic. But it's definitely something I would like to see again.
I agree. For exactly the same. I went into it, tried so hard to avoid any. I saw it. If I'm scrolling on something, I see that, whoop, I just go past it. Obviously, the original is withstood the test of time, even though it's a silent movie. There are many silent movies people don't watch.
Imagery in film.
Amazing. Incredible. So knowing that the Who is involved in it, there's obviously people are on the fence. Maybe they love-hate Eggers. Maybe that's because for me, some of them work and some of them work less.
Yeah. And one thing I think you can't deny about Eggers, even in this movie, is his eye for how a movie looks.
Cinematography.
Yeah, his movies look amazing.
Yes.
And there are scenes in this movie. They're some of the best looking scenes. They're
100%.
It's like a moving painting. Some of this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree. And I would love to. And that's the thing. It's not easy for everybody to get to a theater. It's not cheap. If you can, I do think this is one to see in the theater. Just visually alone. Even if you go in it to just watch how beautiful it is, and
100%, yeah.
And it's really creature stuff is cool. That's I don't feel like there are times where I'm like, oh, I'm not bored in my eyes.
Yeah, exactly. I do think the beginning is very, I don't even say boring, but it's exceedingly drawn out.
Yes, it takes time.
Yeah. Even just Nosferatu. I don't know everything about the beginning. I know it's paced that way purposely, I suppose, but it's
It's not necessary.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
I do feel like this could have been trimmed up quite a bit.
Oh yeah, and it's weird because normally that's my favorite part of the Dracula story is when they're at the castle.
Yes.
And this one, I thought like I kind of was hoping like, all right, let's get out of the castle.
Yeah.
Because it was in there forever, it seemed.
Yes. I liked some of it. I just think that, it makes me want to go to Dracula. I know it's not a direct from Bram Stoker's
Well,
Dracula.
it's weird because it did say at the end or at the beginning that it's based on Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I mean, like, yeah, because you've got like
and
the cow and the buying and all of that stuff is.
Yeah, and this one, the Orlok is more of a combination of Orlok from the original Nosferatu and a little bit of more Dracula. It's a weird combination. And I have to admit, I don't love the look of Orlok in this. And I hate the mustache.
I love the mustache.
I hate the mustache.
I love the mustache.
I was like, why does he have a mustache?
Because I think it is true to the lords of that
time. Of
Vlad
the Impaler.
So to
but then
me,
you're going
the
more Dracula.
Which is fine.
Then just call Dracula.
But it's not. It's not Dracula. But they're all, I mean, Nosferatu comes from Dracula.
Yeah, but it's specifically different. He's more monstrous. He's very rat-like. And so I think when
he's very monstrous. There's no time when this man is
but
like a looker, like he's going to be on a model.
He's less monstrous when he's got a stupid mustache.
I can't believe you don't
I am not a fan of the mustache.
I'm not a mustache person. It's got to be a very special person that can get away with the mustache. I know it's the
so
kids
Orlok
of the day,
can get away with the mustache, like Tom Selleck and Orlok.
Who's that dude I like from MMA from way back?
Don Fry.
Well, Don Fry, but Don Fry, I don't know. He turned once the other guy came on the scene. Was it Ken Shamrock he teamed up with? He teamed up with someone, and then he turned into
the Beast Dan Severn.
I like Dan Severn.
I'm a big fan of Dan Severn.
Dan Severn's awesome.
I've had him on the podcast several times.
That's very cool. Well, at any rate, so yeah, the mustache was good. The way he looked, his like the hat and the cloak, and I thought they did a good job of making him appropriate to that time. And something else I really love, at first I was like, oh, this is a little overdone, is realizing that vampire would breathe for the sole purpose of being able to speak. That drawing in a huge amount of air like that, because it's like this gasping sound.
Yeah,
like, oh my God, it's not, this isn't for breathing, it's for, and the way that Orlok talks is so like, and that took some getting used to, like why I question, like, why is it like this? Because this is an intelligent filmmaker. There's a reason why. There's more to it than just this is a heavy breathing, whatever.
Yeah.
So thinking it made it much creepier to think about it as someone that is taking these gasping intentional breaths, because it's no longer this automatic process. It wouldn't be like blinking wouldn't be automatic.
And I like that they did that he has to come 3 times to her. That's really from the classic story that's not brought up in a lot of newer Dracula takes. And I normally am fine if you don't see, like, I know some people like you need more Pinhead and Hellraiser, blah blah, more Shark and Jaws, but I actually do think it needed a little more Orlok.
I would have liked more Orlok as well. In fact, I think it was so under Orlok that it felt like, now be prepared, it's going to be not, I mean, we've seen these movies. How much of a spoiler can there be?
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty close to the original. I mean, there's new stuff in there, but it's just story-wise, it's pretty close
it's
to the
twists on. It's just interpretations and
But if you know the basic story,
then you know what it is. So the idea of this woman having these visions, I thought she was so unlikable.
I'm not a fan of her I've seen her in other stuff. I don't think she's a good actor, honestly. I also.
What else was she in?
She's in like Yoga Hosers.
Oh well,
But
that's its own entity.
yeah,
Yeah.
the I had actually I was not in love with most of the acting in the movie. It's very stagey, like an old movie. But that acting was from that era.
Yeah.
And what the whole time I was watching, I kept thinking there's something that's like that kind of takes me out where I was never really invested in a lot of the people. And I think it was the acting, and it's kind of cold like, and I'm just not really connected. And it's more like really, the movie's really to me more about let's make this look cool. Let's the people talk like a certain way, but I never get invested emotionally. There's one person in the movie, and I've seen people who thought he was the worst part. I actually think he's the best part of the movie. And that's Willem Dafoe.
Interesting.
Because he's having fun with this.
Projecting some emotion.
Yeah, and he's really over the top with this.
He's terrible accent.
Which I think,
He's not an accent man.
which I think were I loved him in the movie. To me, it was over the top in a way that really worked.
It's not in a way that it worked as part of the movie. It worked as
it's almost out of a different movie.
Yes.
To be honest, he's acting in another movie.
Yes,
but he has a friggin' fantastic scene when they're. This is a spoiler. I mean, you see the picture when he's gonna burn down the his lair. That's like my favorite scene, and he's so consumed with like madness. I was like, I love this.
Yeah, he was great. He was definitely the most likable. It was distracting. He was distracting, but enjoyable. So it's kind of like, whatever. Yeah, I know. I was thinking about how stiff and unlikable the people are. I didn't actively hate everybody, but I didn't enjoy anyone either.
No,
it's like everybody's kind of a dick.
Yeah, like you couldn't like man, I really hope she gets saved, and the guy, the hero guy, or he's a hero, fine. I guess. He's just very there. Which is kind of like some of the old Universal monster movies. A lot of time, like the heroic guy is not necessarily like that interesting. But I also thought the times when she's getting possessed, like I don't really like
having a seizure.
Yeah, I don't really like how they dealt with that. It kind of felt like there was a couple times I almost felt like a Deadite where she's like doing voices, and I mean, it was an interesting take on what I guess vampirism would be, but it felt more like I was watching a possession film for a lot of that.
I think the problem here is that it kind of takes for granted that people are familiar enough with the story to understand some of the things that are happening. Like the idea of these are two beings that have been separated, literally, like she is in a new life. Like the idea of
they do not go. They do like I'm not a big fan of Bram Stoker's Dracula, but they do make that clear. That's the story.
It's not like this is another. Wait, who did Poor Things?
That's a different guy.
Yeah, it is. I was gonna say this is another weird like. I won't get into it. Anyway, so yeah, if people don't know that and they're watching this, I think that would be very confusing that there's this monster with this girl and they're talking about you've come back to me, and there's all these callbacks to them knowing each other in the past, and her having that personality twist, I think, is drawing off of that. So it's kind of like her past.
Because we were in there with a lot of young people who were overtly laughing at this movie.
Well,
and I think, but a lot of that is that they were like, why is she attracted to this monster?
Well, some of the things that happen, I think.
Plus, I think it's a little bit of a nervousness, like you're watching sex, with people, and you're like you're like 18 or something.
So there is like kind of a sex scene that is sudden and weird, which I think at the time, because it's not really happening.
Right.
So when it happens, it's kind of like, what the fuck is this even happening? Which was kind of funny.
You got a lot of people here. I saw John
over there.
John Dugan is in here.
John!
Under or locked.
Oh my God, John.
Lover of Beers, one of the original Without Your Head pals who's came back recently. Howdy, guys. I hated this movie. Dark lighting throughout. It is very dark, but I do think it might depend what theater you're in. We were in the laser theater,
Yeah.
and so
It looked
you
good.
could see everything. It was
Yeah.
it was dark, but it wasn't.
But
You could see everything.
And you could see why it was dark.
Yeah, yeah.
So it made sense for it
So-
to be dark. But I think
If you were in a
Yeah,
different
I'd be
theater, it could
curious.
possibly be too dark. You couldn't see
so.
stuff.
What is Arsenis?
I agree. The stupid porn mustache.
No,
And it.
no, the mustache is good.
I do think.
It's appropriate for the time. For
Yeah,
the
I'm not a
lords.
fan. I'm not a fan. I want my
You can see
Nosferatu
Vlad the Impaler actual
I understand.
portrait.
I understand.
And he's got a big hat.
But
and
Vlad the
a
Impaler
mustache.
is Dracula.
It's fine.
And Nosferatu
But
is based on
Nosferatu
Dracula,
is-
but it's its
yes.
own thing.
It is its own thing.
To just make a
It's
Dracula
combo of
movie.
things. Nosferatu sounds cooler.
Oh, I agree. I normally like Nosferatu movies better than Dracula movies.
So this was it was just a mix.
Yeah.
He's just mixing it up.
The boring
Which
thing.
is fair. I mean, you should be able to do that.
Yeah. The boring part he's saying, I could totally see that. The beginning really was very tedious, I think. And then as it went on, it didn't bother me so much. But it definitely doesn't need to be this long.
No, it doesn't. Well, we got another thing. Possession stuff.
Possession stuff, yeah. I thought, I don't know. That's part of the reason why I like to watch it again. I don't know if I would feel differently with the possession stuff, or I don't know. I don't really like how they dealt with it.
I just don't think for all the time that this existed, they could have not. You don't have to go above and beyond to explain all of that stuff,
Yeah.
but there are ways to do it to clue in people that don't know, and even people that do know.
This is something I've been talking about on my wrestling podcast.
Mhm.
In my opinion, whatever you're making, you have to go with the idea that your audience knows nothing about this.
Mhm.
So yes, like on AEW, I'm a fan, but they'll bring in people from Mexico and Japan. They just assume everyone knows who they are, and a lot of times I have no idea who they are. So, and a lot of people don't. So, and the same thing with this, you can't assume that everyone, like you're saying, goes into this knows the Dracula story. Because not everyone does. There was a lot of people in their 20s here, probably maybe late teens, and they probably or whoever
I
else.
know, but
And it's not going to hurt me.
They're just off the street, like, hey, what's this movie
Right.
this weekend?
Because the idea of doing a new movie like this is people see it, maybe they never even heard of this. Maybe they'd go back and watch the other ones, or maybe they won't. But this is the Nosferatu for this generation.
It could.
Yeah,
But
you know
then
what
again,
I mean.
we don't want it to be at the same time saying that like the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula was the Dracula of that time.
Yeah. I'm not.
And there are things I love about it. There are things I don't love.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of things.
Yeah.
So to say
it's not like
of its time, I would love this to be of.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like,
but not appealing to teenagers. But there's a way to do it. I think there's that.
I didn't mean like, because honestly, it's not of this time. It's not really a movie like that. If I'd watch this, I don't think if you'd watch this movie in 20 years, you'd be like, oh, this is a very 2024 movie. But I meant it's like the people who are young today's never seen previous Dracula.
Is their new,
this. So for them, you have to explain the story.
Yeah, and you should anyways.
Yeah, always.
I think it would be a
and someone like you said who knows it, it's not going to hurt them. It's like
no, and kind of see that here's this person who cared enough about source material to make it, and see how.
And it's so long. Why not?
Exactly.
You know?
In that time, how about you stuff a little bit of that in there?
Yeah.
I mean, they depart from both stories, so it's not like they can't depart in a way to storytell that.
Mm-hmm.
So the possession stuff, I like her being possessed more than I like her just being conscious. She was really good at it. Like she was shaking. She was shaking.
I don't know how it worked for me, to be honest. It felt like the movie Possession. Like I don't know. It is, but it felt out of place for a vampire movie. But I don't know. That's part of the reason I'd like to watch it again. Some of the stuff might work better for me a second time, or I might say, "Oh shit, this is worse than I thought." I don't know.
I'm kind of curious about, because when the random sex acts happens,
But I
Well,
will say real quick before on the
yes.
possession, it is nice that they tried something a little different than just the usual, like, you're hypnotized.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's doing something a little different.
Yes. That when in that time of psychiatry, women would be considered hysterical. And
Oh,
the
yeah,
hysterical had to do with the womb and all the lady stuff.
Mhm.
And they literally would like use that as an excuse to like
Oh, yeah.
fuck their patients because they were hysterical. And I guess you're supposed to just mess
Yeah, there was
around with
stuff like,
women's bodies. So
you know, when she's, you know, gets the blood and she's unclean, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. Are you two a fan of Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin? I don't really
he's
care.
great, but
Yeah,
I hate
he's
that
great,
he's
but
in a mask.
yeah.
That does not need to happen. That was a waste.
100%.
He's his Green
He's
Goblin. He is great.
He's the
as
best
a
part
voice,
of
but
the. They did the new. I don't know what they're calling, but it was the newest one where it's the multiverse, so it's got all three Spider-Mans in it.
Oh.
And then they bring back like villains from like the Sony movies and like the MCU.
Wow.
Which is it's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like he's by far the best part of that movie. There's a couple people and I'm like, I think they were like forced at like gunpoint or something, like because they're like clearly do not give a shit about this movie that they're doing.
Oh, Eggers People. Way back, we were talking about how, I was going to say something about how I was thinking about other Eggers movies. We've got Witch.
Yeah.
We've got Lobster.
TV Lobster? Lighthouse?
No, Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
I just think of the Lobster.
Oh, okay. That's a different movie, The Lobster.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. I couldn't think of the Lighthouse, but I remember he says the thing about me lobster.
Yeah.
And what are some of his other things?
The Northman, which is actually my favorite of his films. It's probably the only one I would say I'm actually a fan of.
The people I think are, from what I recall, none of them are likable. In any of these movies, am I like, oh, I feel feelings for this person? None of them.
Yeah.
And it made me think of David Cronenberg, who none of his people are likable.
Maybe it's why I'm not a big fan of his work, honestly.
Cronenberg?
Honestly, hit me too. Well, no, I really loved The Fly last time I watched it, but
yeah,
that
was like the magic of Gina Davis and
I can totally respect Eggers.
Name?
Oh, Jeff Goldblum.
Right.
I totally respect Eggers.
Yes.
The stuff looks great, and most of it's original. I mean, this isn't necessarily original. I mean, it's you know, but oh no, it looks absolutely fantastic. But
the Lighthouse was original.
I'm not. Yeah, that's I'm not a fan of The Witch, and maybe that's part of it. I don't really care about any of the people, and I've talked a lot of times about my problems with The Witch. Lighthouse, I just really think I hate that movie. I think it's awful, and I thought Northman was to me is his best movie.
That was where they go into the cave.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. It's like the first like serious sword and sorcery movie that's been around and for a long time. Kind of reminds me of like, you know,
I'd watch it again.
Conan
I remember
Barbarian
really it seemed very at the time I felt like it was too commercial seeming.
Really?
It's too appealing to the mainstream audience. But anyway,
it was a big flop.
Well, it didn't work. But I think that maybe there's a quality to his movies that people are just going to be unlikable, and it's more about the art, the screen.
I think Willem Dafoe is impossible not to like at some level.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yes. But the character's not meant to be likable, really. So
I think he probably takes a character who would have been really unlikable.
Oh
makes him more likable. He's great. I do. Well, the guy that's in The Witch.
I like him too. Good. Yeah, he's not in it a lot, but I anytime he's in anything, I hear the voice and I'm immediately like this guy's. He catches he grabs your attention.
Oh yeah, something about
and
this
it's
movie,
not just the voice. He's got presence.
Yeah, absolutely. Stuff, but he has a great voice. Yeah. Something about this movie I love. There's another Dracula movie. We'll just go with that. That I had really, really, really wanted to see a couple of years ago. And in the short span of this movie, they They did what I wanted that other movie to do. And you know what movie I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, some people think it's like the greatest. That was one of the biggest disappointments.
Oh my God, that would be the Voyage of the Demeter.
Yeah.
What a heap of junk.
Yeah, that's very.
God, that was so disappointing.
Because okay, so I know what you're saying. Like you can't expect everyone to know what the story, but going in, most people know. If you know Dracula, you know what's going to happen.
Yes.
So you have to do something new with that story in some level. You can't just like. And besides that, it just sucks. So
it was.
You can look at our old review.
Yeah, we did a review of it.
Yeah.
We weren't kind.
No,
it wasn't kind to us. We paid money for it.
Rakaya, did you two ever see? Ever seen Willem Dafoe in person or interview him? No, that would be amazing. That would be like definitely a big dream.
If you got a connection.
Yeah. I think I'll be honest. So he when during the pandemic and the Coolidge, there was like a lot of theaters, especially independent theaters. There was a chance it was going to go under. It was going to go out of business.
Yeah.
And Willem Dafoe did an interview where you had to pay, or I think whatever. He did an interview with them to help raise money to keep it. And I always remember that because it's not something he has to do.
Yeah.
I really like Willem Dafoe.
Do stuff like be a member or something.
And he's one of those guys, like he'll pop up in friggin' Aquaman, and I'm like, does he want to do Aquaman? But then I watched this interview with him once, and they're going over all his roles, and he does all these whacked out movies. I know he likes, but then he was saying he had to fight to play the Green Goblin, like they didn't even want him, and he wanted to do it. And I was like, and then what the hell are they insane? Yeah.
He's a perfect face to be Green Goblin. Yeah. Like, what are you thinking?
Like one of the greatest actors.
Green on it.
Wants to be in,
do makeup.
Wants to be in your dumb comic book movie, and you're like, nah.
Yeah, because then comic book movies were not what they are today.
No.
That was so like.
That's what he was saying too.
Nerds.
That's what he was saying too. He's like he wanted to. It was before they were big, and like he wanted to try to tackle that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like this guy.
Yeah, that Willem Dafoe, he's a bit of all right.
Yeah. So it's a mixed bag. There's stuff that it really looks fantastic.
Orlok. Here's another thing I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, vampires be biting you on the throat,
right,
and get that jugular going. I don't want to be a spoiler, because it is a spoiler, but it's a different method. But the slurping and heaving this is just his body is just a vessel that things are forcibly drawn into, like forcibly bringing in air. There is great effort into drinking blood, and it's amazing. That I think is really good. It was very unique. It wasn't too far gone. It wasn't, it was something that worked. Yeah, I like that. It was a nice twist.
Yeah, so it's definitely mixed bag for me. It's hard to but it's definitely a movie I've been thinking about since I watched it, and I like to watch it again. So it's not like, oh, this sucked, or like something I never watch again.
And he is monstrous.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a monster. Yeah, I would. Well,
it's problems, but I mean,
I know I have the original stuck in my head, so I know. Yeah. You can't just friggin' just have them look exactly the same, I guess.
No.
So
I will throw out there before you rate it that I know how you feel about The Witch, and I feel like this is similar with the whole, like, I get that we know that, once upon a time she was in another life, she was his bride and all this. We know this from other stories. He's not an appealing fellow.
No.
And yet, somehow, when she was like a teen, for some reason,
you really even get the beginning.
Some of this stuff doesn't make sense, but the idea of like offering something to someone when there's no win, and that kind of works for him for a long time. But then the end, I think, was actually the way they did it.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to go into that, but yeah. So I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna give 3. 3 bloody snubs.
3 out of enjoyment.
3 out of
Maybe we should start thinking about in big city. There's stuff going down.
Well, it probably seems low to a lot of people, but that's what I think, three.
Yeah. Entertainment wise, I would probably say the same. Three. I do like the idea of giving it more than one rating because I feel like it's tough.
It looks.
Because
I mean, if I just said what it looked like, I think it's one of the best looking, not just horror. It's one of the best looking horror movies I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best looking movies. There's stuff. A lot of times, I was literally just looking at the screen like, "Wow, this looks awesome." Then it kind of disappoints me that I wasn't more drawn to the characters.
I really thought that Orlok was scary. Legit. When he was in
and maybe
shadows,
if I'll watch it again, I'll be like, I'll like,
ooh.
I know he's got the fucking mustache. when they revealed the mustache, I was like, good God.
He's scary. He's a good scary monster villain. He is a good villain. If you walked in off the street and you didn't know,
Yeah, I prefer the original Nosferatu.
And I
but
like
I
mustaches.
understand.
But I think if he's gonna have a mustache, he just can't be hairless.
That's true. Why is he just? He only grows hair over his lip. And is he fucking shaving?
That's what I say. Well, you know what?
Is he sitting
He
there?
could be. Well, like in the movie of the Francis Ford Coppola one,
Yeah.
there is shaving.
Yeah, but he's
involved.
like a human-looking guy. He's not a fucking giant beast.
And he has hair on his head. We assume he has. Well, I mean, I guess when you get really old, sometimes people
Yeah, the hair on the head.
growing
I
hair
didn't
on
mind
their
the hair on the
bodies,
head.
but-
I prefer the hairless, not Nosferatu. But the hair was almost like almost Hitler-like. It was weird. It was
What?
Yeah, the little comb, I don't know. It's weird. I think the hair on the head worked a little bit more than the mustache. Yeah, because it was like kind of like remnants of a human. I think.
I don't remember seeing him.
He had his hair on his head.
He
It was.
had.
Yeah, but when he had it off, he had like it was like the kind of the Hitler hair was like combed over, like.
Oh.
It wasn't all shaggy.
No, not shaggy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had hair on his head. It was like brushed. So. It was like combed over. I love the original. Probably. Yeah, I agree, and I know it's, and I love the Herzog one. That's a good point. So. And I also do the Defoe Shadow of the Vampires.
I cannot separate that man.
Fair.
I cannot. Yeah, I love H.P. Lovecraft stuff. He changed his ways. He was a bigoted, not great guy, raised by two crazy people. His father, I think, died in the asylum. Like he was sickly. He was like the homeschooled, weird man. Then got together with a Jewish woman, went to New York City, tried to survive, and became a different person. Do you know what? You can't undo that man did. And I don't have to go far into that road, but no, I can't do that. No. I cannot. Because I see him, and I can't watch the movie without just thinking about.
Yeah.
I see his name.
So we're gonna go to the next one.
Well, I give it a 3, and then for appearance, it's an absolute 5.
I agree
and
with
the cool
that.
shit, effecty kind of shit, like the idea of him as a monster. I think he's a 4.5 monster.
So then the next one was Bloody Axe.
Bloody Axe.
And so I honestly think this was a good idea for a movie, but someone should have we need like a good script. Because this
it's a mess.
Yeah,
it's a mess.
I think it had a couple things I laughed at, but a lot of the jokes are just bombs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. And as I was watching it, and there was a joke about this one girl is describing their ex-girlfriend and that she had pierced genitalia. And I'm like, this sounds like it was written by a man.
Yeah, and they put
writing it for women.
Yeah.
Like trying to go for that like empowered woman
vibe
everybody's like chasing after.
Mm-hmm.
and men chase after it because
Yeah.
they want to be like, so, I'm sorry, but that's a real thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was written by a man.
really?
I'm like, I'm waiting for the end to
Yeah.
say who wrote this, and it's his name is Matt. So it was written by a man. And
I
it's
really
like,
want
this
to,
is
like,
just
didn't someone like when you're, I don't know, even when you're filming it, you'd be like, this ain't that. This none of most, almost nothing is funny. And then like you're editing it. I don't know. Like at some point, didn't somebody like I don't know, we need to
this just
spice
makes
up
no
this.
sense.
Yeah, it's just not. It's really poorly written movie.
It is.
Someone had a neat idea for a movie.
Yes.
And then it's poorly written, and it's also just too much. I'm cool with like a contrast of comedy and serious stuff, but
it's
not. It didn't work at all. Like,
well, to just give people an idea of what this is. So, Bloody Axe Wound is a movie about the serial killer monster, like a Jason. They clearly are playing it off Jason. He's a normal guy, but he's like a lumpy, misshapen face, and it's in the 80s, conveniently. And he owns a video store.
When you first saw him, I was looking. I thought he was just sitting there with the
makeup on.
Yeah, I was like, oh, her dad's
like
pretty
just
cool.
A super fan.
Yeah, they really didn't explain it very well.
Which
it took me a little bit.
I
to
felt really good about that. I'm like, oh, this man's cool.
Exactly. I was like, oh, her dad rules.
Yeah, he just loves special effects. It made no sense. So this young high school girl, well, she's like a senior or whatever. She, I guess, they just moved to town. She's going to start going to school for the first time ever as like a senior. So she's meeting people for the first time. She instantly makes friends.
Yeah,
and she's it's like this coming of age story of a girl, the daughter of a serial killer, she originally wants to grow up and follow in his footsteps, and then she meets nice people.
Yeah, and not just a serial killer. So it's not like it's not like
monster.
Yeah, he's like just a straight up slasher.
Murderer. Yes,
who's like who lives by the rules of slasher films, and then not only does then he films them and then sells them.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. It doesn't make sense. It's like somehow it's supposed to be like some kind of meta thing where like none of this is actually real, and that the world is being reported. I think it was trying to be smart.
Yeah, so it made no sense because, and like I know you're picking apart this like very dumb movie, but still, they sell these movies or they rent them at their own video store, reel to reel, real as in reality to real. So that they're there, and then like they're also saying like in this town, like all the if you do any of this stuff, you always get killed. It's like, well, don't they just go to the store and they'd be like, oh, you guys sell like snuff films that you make? You're probably
but they're not walking around with a camera. There's no one with a camera.
Can you just rent snuff films?
It doesn't make sense.
Would they be like, where do you get these or something? Like
I can't. And I was trying to I'll suspend disbelief. I'm trying to suspend. All right, I'm just gonna try to roll with it. It's a story.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it be loose about it, but it really doesn't make sense.
There's a real little quick thing for that. Like they sell them somewhere else and someone else sells them.
And then who's this dude? The tailor laundry guy. I liked him.
Yeah.
But he's just like, I want to be in the movie, and he was like trying to. It's like supposed to be like, is it supposed to be, I feel like it was trying to be this meta thing where people were kind of self-aware that they were in something. Like there's this strange altered reality, but it just didn't.
I think that idea has been beaten to death for me. The the rules of the slasher.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen like this so many times since the big one in the 90s there with Ghostface. But there's been like so many movies just like this, but done a lot better. There's
I mean, not just like this. It is original,
very
in its
similar
way.
to this. But yeah, I mean, I meant the meta, especially the slasher ones.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like that you live in the slasher world or something. Mm-hmm. But it did have a neat premise, but it just was not. Someone had a premise and just wrote a bunch of crap. Let's think this through, and let's also put some stuff in it that's actually funny. And then like there was stuff in it, not scary, but there was like very dark things, and I didn't think it really like worked with like The spoilers, like, people are dying that you think are gonna live or what. I don't know. It's just it was a weird mix for me. I don't think it really worked on hardly any level.
And even I got tired of the gore. Like there were a few times where the gore was actually my laugh out loud funny.
Yeah,
gore.
that was at the beginning, and then
there was a kill that I think normally I would have been a laugh out loud gore, but I was really annoyed with the movie, and I was like, "This is just."
And there's so many scenes of like the last minute someone's about to get killed, and then boom, they get killed. Like that was done like
really sad.
It's like done like 10 times or something.
Is that like there's this whole thing like the black person gets killed early.
Yeah.
And that happened.
Yeah.
And she was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really sad. Like she's actually cool.
This one, sorry, lover of beers. This was back to about the bald but a porn stash. I've had too many people bring up that it was great because of Vlad. Not for me. I wanted Orlok, not Dracula. I agree. But I get it.
I mean,
I agree with it, but it's fine. But
it's like, what's the difference between really, other than appearances? What's the difference between these characters?
They're based on the same story.
Okay.
But if you're going to really go hard into Vlad the Impaler, I think it needs to be a Dracula movie.
But they didn't go hard into that.
They did with the mustaches. Look.
That's not a mustache is hard in.
I think if you, I mean, that's right from Vlad the Impaler. Count Orlok is just the monster, very like rat-like thing.
I mean, they didn't actually say he's Dracula. They didn't have.
I know that's what I'm saying. I think you should have just made a Dracula movie if you're gonna do that. But it just didn't. That the
mustache is the reason. Otherwise, he's completely monstrous.
I am anti-mustache for Orlok. No mustache.
It doesn't mean he's hard into Dracula because there's a fucking mustache.
What? No. You're playing off Vlad the Impaler, which is Dracula. So just make Dracula.
Is Orlok a count?
Yeah, Count Orlok.
All right, is he from that area?
You mean he's friggin' he's just like a rat man.
I don't.
He looks like that in every version.
Of what? Nosferatu?
Of Nosferatu.
How many versions are there?
3. And then
how many are there? There's the one original one. There's the asshole one.
Then there's Shadow the Vampire. And then
that was really good. But Shadow the Vampire is supposed to be about the movie.
Right. And then you could put Salem's Lot in.
But it's not the movie.
But
it's not the movie.
The vampire is more Orlok than Dracula.
So being Orlok is only about strictly.
It's different. It is different than Dracula.
This is only about appearances. That's the only thing.
Then why does he have the whole reason he has a mustache is to play off Vlad the Impaler. So
it's not
playing off Vlad the Impaler. Then he should be just Dracula.
Of that time.
No, the mustache. He played Caring Rat. Exactly. I mean, that is a big part of the movie.
He is a plague carrying rat. It is a big part of the movie.
Then we saw all kinds of rats tonight.
We did see lots.
That's kind of weird, isn't it?
They're cute.
Yeah, they didn't look like that. They didn't have mustache, but they did.
They were hairy. We did see one that was sadly deceased, as if he was running in mid-stride. We were walking up the sidewalk, and it was a rat, but it was really still, and it was just right on the sidewalk, and it was laying down like it was like someone had stopped it in time because it's the way its arms were, its little foot was out. There was nothing wrong looking with it.
So the 3 big German expressionist horror movies of that era is Nosferatu, The Golem, and Dr. Caligari. So there hasn't been a big budget remake of Dr. Caligari.
That would be cool.
And I don't think there's really been I guess you could argue Oddity's kind of a Golem movie. But not in the sense of what that movie is. that would be an interesting thing to tackle, like
Yeah.
a modern film. Not even necessarily modern, like in modern day, but I mean just it's
Like
something
this one,
something
like
that's it's like a 100-year-old
with
movie
this
that
time, the technology, and all the things that we have,
yeah.
that people have at their disposal
Mhm.
for talent.
Caligari, I don't know. I think that would be an odd one.
Pretty sweet.
I know you could probably get Nicolas Cage because that's apparently his favorite movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's the way to go.
Why not? Like he studied to act just like the original one, and it's like, oh yeah, here he is, Nicolas Cage. Which isn't. I'm not anti Nicolas Cage, but
No, I love Nicolas
I do too.
Cage, but he can be. He can. I think that there are people that tell him, "Okay, do that Nicolas Cage thing."
Yeah.
And that's what he's being paid for.
Oh yeah, no, I
people
agree.
be like, "We're getting Nicolas Cage, so he can be
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage," and that's fine and great and entertaining. And is he capable of doing other stuff? Yes, because he has. What's that movie where he's an ambulance driver? That movie is good.
Yeah, it's by
That's a
it's
great
written.
movie.
That's I think that was one of the last ones by the combination of Paul Schrader and
Really.
yeah, and
Scorsese?
yeah, Scorsese
Yeah.
Schrader.
It's a great movie.
Well, Paul Schrader come back on. I like Paul Schrader. I know
Paul Schrader got in trouble.
Oh yeah, people. He's a very divisive
He's a
personality.
man of his time.
But I can't help it. I like Paul Schrader. Vampire's Kiss was good. Oh, that's a good one though too. Peter from What We Do in the Shadows is very much Orlok. Yeah.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's
that's
awesome.
a fantastic movie.
Mhm.
I watched the show just a couple episodes. I couldn't get into it, but people really love it, so maybe I should go back into it sometime.
Vampire's Kiss was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hilarious. I loved it.
All right. So then our third. Oh, so I'm just giving this a 1, I guess. The back's bloody.
Yeah,
the bloody
I
axe.
have to say.
Yeah. Pretty poor.
Yeah, I feel bad ripping on it because I'm sure
Yeah.
that these are all fresh young people on the scene.
Yeah. Hopefully.
But you know what?
I will say I saw some people on my Facebook saying they thought it was fantastic. I was like, what the hell? What the hell?
I can handpick the people, and that's the thing. I mean, and it's like it's a movie that as I was there, I'm like, you know what? This is not for us.
Yeah.
There are going to be people.
Yeah, I don't like bad, terrible
movies. Love it.
I'm just kidding.
So I was thinking that this is for the crowd of people that saw Nosferatu, some of the younger people.
Oh yeah, they thought it was a comedy.
Been their style.
I agree.
This is for
I was happy that
Nosferatu
had a big
generation
audience.
can, but there's some movies that are for some people and some that aren't.
So
but
then
our enjoyment opinion of the film is one.
So then we went to see 1980 New Year's Evil. And every time I hear that song, I love it more. I think it's fucking fantastic. And
we could play it, not get banned. What are the lyrics? We should just sing it.
Yeah, I looked them up. They're really cool. I like the song even more once I knew the lyrics.
I think. What? Of course I can't. Easy E.
Yeah, that's it.
Easy E?
That's the website. Baby.
Oh.
New Year's Eve.
I can't listen to it though.
I can let this go.
That's not it.
No,
I knew it. Easy. I'm like, Easy E is not the site. That's
Put in Shadow.
That's a rapping fellow.
Shadow, if you're watching this show, we want you on Without Your Head.
New Year's Evil sing along.
Anyone out there from New Year's Evil, we want you on the show.
Dang, man, where'd you find these?
Okay.
No lyrics.
I found them. I just made them up.
Oh.
New Year's Evil. That's it, actually.
Is it?
Yeah. because it was a weird website.
What is that?
I don't know,
Some weird
probably
ads.
ads based off your Google search.
What, I can't even see what it is. What is it? Like, it looks like skin. It looks like someone's getting pierced in the face.
Yeah, I don't know what's
It's
going
like some
on.
kind of weird chin strap.
Try something you don't want to know.
I don't.
Shining like the light that hits a knife at the stroke of midnight. Quiet but so bright, my heart swells. Can't you tell? I'm in the fever. Tell me it will be sweet. New Year's Eve, or do I fear New Year's Eve?
That's pretty sweet. That's what it was. I messed it up.
Shall we dance to the music, toast the past, watch the humming heartbeat drumming of the hourglass? Love at last, when I see your bright eyes flash, you'll be spinning, spinning to the ground. New Year's paint the town.
It probably is more than that.
In the night to meet the moon, all dressed in white, you appear. Outside in the streets, you hear the cheers for you, my dear, from all the people. Tell me, will it be sweet New Year's Eve, or do I fear a New Year's Eve?
I think that's good.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna be serious about
In future karaoke.
yeah, I would love to do it. If I'm gonna be serious about New Year's Eve, I fucking think it's great. But
It was great.
I think it's awesome. So the beginning, they play the song like twice in a row, pretty much, which I think rules. I honestly
that
think,
was a little. It's like this is a long
yeah.
scene of just this partying group driving around and driving.
Oh yes, yeah.
and driving around.
There's this group of. I think that opening scene is so. It's awesome, yes, but it's awesome. It's this group of punks who it's almost like you're setting up. This group of people you're gonna follow, but the movie's not about them at all, which is so weird.
Just showing them party. Maybe you just need to fill time.
Oh yeah, I believe that's it. So it's almost like you think you're like, I'm gonna watch Return of the Living Dead, and they're introducing the punk characters. So like, oh, this is the group of friends I'm gonna follow. Some of them are gonna get murdered, but no, they're you don't need to know any of these people.
Yeah,
I don't think they even have names.
Nope, they don't get murdered. You see them dance.
Yeah,
I think some of them. They're fools trying to get into the club.
So my one thing that takes us from being a 5 is you all that stuff at the beginning. Keep that throughout the whole movie. Go to them people dancing over and over. There's some stuff that later on they get away from that, and I'm like, that's fine. But go back to these idiots dancing is what I'm saying.
Seriously?
Yeah, I want to see more.
You want to see more of the dancing?
I want to see more dancing.
More of them. The dancing is like this.
and then they show back and forth between them and like mental patients.
Like mildly moshing.
Yeah.
And people are like super strung out, like.
And it goes back and forth between them and mental patients, and they look exactly the same.
They do.
Yeah, it rules. I'm like, this movie's awesome.
It's a social commentary.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, because the cop is like, the kind of people that call in here.
The cops are so stiff. Like the detectives.
There's cops that like they find one of the bodies in the dumpster and they're like, hey.
And they're all presented like dummies. Oops. Yeah. It's kind of like Last House on the Left. When I watch that in modern day, I'm like, it's really like a commentary. Like they're really like trash and police. Like they're complete idiots. This one's not quite that level, but they're pretty.
I think
dumb.
They just picked people because they didn't only had so much
money. Yeah.
Like, these guys seem fine.
Yeah, Last House on the Left, I think it's intentional.
Cops bad.
No, Last House on the Left, I think it's intentional.
Yeah.
But yes, but some of the detectives especially, like they're so wooden. They're like, oh, it's
to the point of fun.
Yeah, so if you don't know, the idea is it's like this woman is hosting this dance show.
She's like a VJ.
Yeah. So it's New Year's And then this dude calls in. Well, then her son's trying to get her attention. She don't give a
so
shit.
she's downstairs getting ready for the show to start, and she's talking with her manager person, and they're like back and forth, and she's frantic about whatever's going to happen that night. Then in comes her very handsome Harvard-looking son with a bouquet of roses. Mom, I've got really good news. And he's like a college-age guy.
Mhm.
Got really good news, and she's totally ignoring him. And he's like, I got the part. And she's just ignoring him. It's a really important part. And he's just getting so blown off by her. It's really sad.
Yeah.
He's just a sweet young boy trying to get his mom to like give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, but we could talk later. We could talk after the show. So then she goes out, and she's like really very much VJ. She got like a tight little outfit, and she's like kind of introduces the music, the bands. Excuse me. Yeah, and there's like a phone bank on the stage, which for some of y'all don't know what a phone bank is. It's a row of people taking calls from the audience. So there's 4 people on the stage taking calls, and then there's one call.
And it's just this is evil.
This is evil.
And then, like, just evil, and now someone will die. Oh man, this guy rules. And there's actually something I'm gonna say is very clever about this movie.
Yes.
Is normally the killer is like it's a who done it.
Yes.
And it's like,
but you're with him the whole
time.
time.
So you know who he is. You see his face the whole time, so it's not.
Time.
But
you follow him through the whole movie.
Yeah, the cleverness of this, it's like, well, who is he to the story? And they don't even set it up in a way like, honestly, like you're trying to guess who he is.
No, you're
and
just
I was
there.
like, this is actually one. And like I'm joking around, this is a silly, fun movie, but that's actually very clever.
Yes. I don't know every single horror movie ever made, but I think this was a really big change for horror movies to be able to see that it was original.
Because even when it first happens, I was like, oh, this is kind of dumb. Like you see the guy's face like right away.
Oh yeah.
So like at first I was like, well, there's no mystery to this,
like,
but
you see a close up.
Yeah,
of his mouth, but
so it's like, oh, there's no mystery here, but that's not true.
And it's not like Maniac you're with him the whole time.
Yeah.
But you're not with the victims at all.
Right, and there's no like payoff like, oh, he's really blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yes.
And you don't even think of that when you're watching this either. It's actually very smart that part of the movie. And the killer guy, he's entertaining, honestly. He uses the same weapon all the time, which gets a little, dull, but
it's weapon.
Yeah.
What do you mean? He uses the bag.
Yeah. Oh, there's also another clever part. A little mild spoiler. Little spoiler here. There's actually something else that's different. And I like this. He stops the car. So he's got a woman. He had 2 women. He kills the one. The other woman knows she's gonna die. He stops because there's like 2 drunk guys. And
they got in front of his car.
Yeah, and instead of like the woman just being dumb and not doing nothing, she gets out of the car and runs.
And hides effectively.
And I was
someone that made sense.
Yeah, and I was like, I like this. And spoiler, she gets away. And I was like, I like that.
And it made sense why, because of the people that were partying, and it's a very silly in a lot of ways. This could be one that's remade.
Yeah.
Because it could be presented as a smart movie.
Yeah.
It's not genius level work, but it's something that is different.
Yeah.
It deserves it.
I've always enjoyed the movie. I absolutely love the song. Honestly, it's one of my favorite horror themes ever. I'm a big fan of horror themes that aren't like spooky. They're like something ridiculous like this.
Yeah. I do want to say
that. I mean, I don't want that in every movie. I don't want Nosferatu watching it and all of a sudden like, he's Nosferatu. Suck in the blood. Maybe I do want that.
I was going to say that. Who we got?
We got Eve. Hi guys, love Tommy's mom. Well, thank you. Come on, go going on. Probably
Tommy's mom's got it going on.
that's a different.
Stacy,
Stacey,
I know,
yeah.
I know. That you don't, but you don't. You see him the whole time, but there is a secret reveal
Yes, yeah,
later.
yeah. It's,
Because you don't realize who he is, but then when you know who he is, it's like, oh, wow, and then connections are made, and then there's like another, like, wow.
yeah,
There is a point in the movie where her kid does some weird shit, and it's like, what the fuck is he doing?
And it has no connection to the movie at all.
No, and it's like you question, why is this happening?
And I kind of like the scene. It was like, wow, this kid's fucking demented.
Yeah, I know we were talking about the same part.
Yeah, so I'll just say, he's got the pantyhose, and I don't know if they're hers, which makes it adds it, even a weirder level.
Who else would they be?
Yeah, I know, but he's pulling him over his head, cutting him up. And then he looks fucking whack when he's got he's got like his nose is all up to the side.
And then he like takes like something that would be for like a boutonniere pin or whatever. Yeah. It's like the kind of pin that has like a little pearl looking thing on the end. And he just pierces his ear.
Yeah. And then the next time you see him, he's just normal again. I was like, well, what the hell was the point of that? Besides being awesome. I want to see that movie. I want to see that guy killer. That'd be fucking cool. They should have done a sequel. Maybe that would have been a sequel. But okay. Spoiler. There is something I'm watching. I'm like, I don't know about the elevator stuff, but what the hell? I'll just run with it. He just all becomes like this. He's like MacGyver, and he's like hijacking the.
So, and I was thinking the same, and I thought, to be fair, we don't know the guy's history. Maybe he was an electrician.
Yeah, maybe.
Electricians make a lot of money.
He knows how to make the elevator just slide in the ground and kill everybody.
Yeah, he's got. You don't know if he was an electrician. You know exactly what to do.
You stick the screwdriver here, and you
do they have any horror movies about electricians?
I'm not. I've seen the movie. I was thinking like. Usually, if it's about electricity, it's like a guy that got electric.
Yeah, they should have electricity as a weapon.
Yeah, that's a good one up and down.
Yeah.
The electrician.
Now we'll get done.
Yeah.
So the next movie that's about electricity, you saw it here first.
Coming this summer, The Electrician.
Even the name is good.
Yeah, it's good. I'd be scared. Who would be a good electrician? Who's a good guy or woman to be the electrician?
What's his name?
Damien McVeigh.
I was thinking of
Rigo.
Oh, that would be cool. But no. It can't be someone that seems nice. Although he's an actor. Yeah. So electrician. Who could be the electrician? Well,
We'll network. We're not network. We'll get our heads together.
We'll figure that out. The electrician.
Yeah.
Could be
I know Helene Udi's all about making the bowling horn movie. Not bowling, curling horn movie. Maybe
curl someone's head across.
That's my she loved it. I was like, and then she's like, I know like real curlers like.
Who would be a part of this?
I was like, hell yeah, we'll get the big crossover audience of curling.
It could be huge. We have a lot of Canadian friends up there. Yeah. Maybe some of you even know.
Who would love that? That'd be so great. That'd be awesome. All right. Well, that's down the road.
We'll see. We'll see what
happens. So, I can't give it a 5, but I'll go 4. New Year's Evil 4. It's
New Year's
great.
Evil 4.
Yeah. Do I know it's not the greatest film ever made? Yes. But is it better made than Nosferatu? Probably not. But do I probably enjoy it better? Yeah. So 4. New Year's Evil. Yeah, probably not on the level of cinematography of Nosferatu. I know it's kind of a big debate in the horror world, but
it's a technology though. It was the 80s.
Right.
It's just
if
they had technology
Nosferatu
today,
does not have fucking New Year's Evil theme song. As when you were talking about Nosferatu 5 looks wise, theme song 5, movie I'm going 4. That's probably too high, honestly. I'll say 3.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3.5 too, because it's not something I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I would put, but you can give it a 4.
Nah, that's a little
Right.
it's a little ridiculous. So 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. A nice 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sometimes 3.5 feels not nice.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's fun.
But I think it's good.
It's a very rewatch. Like I'm not gonna watch it every week, but it's a movie I will watch every year.
I could watch it every year,
and I will listen to the theme over and over. And I think
you already have done.
I think the theme you could just listen to it on loop, and you're gonna enjoy it.
I would.
Yeah.
I could drive. I could be in like this is one of the songs if I was not in a great mood, either maybe I'm sad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know what? It's time for some Shadow. And I just love it. I'm not against looping the song.
Me neither.
I'm a big fan of songs.
Yeah.
If the situation calls for a loop, loop it.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. It's got the and then it's also it's got all the levels. It brings you. It's like a roller coaster. The song of emotion. Yeah.
Indeed, the song of emotion. Yes,
yeah.
It's inspiring.
It would legit go on my top 5 horror themes.
What would the other one be?
The Ballad of
Harry Warden.
Harry Warden, fucking great. I have to think of some more. Maybe that's just those 2. Like,
that's it.
That's all you need. No, there's other ones. I like the Madman Mars song.
Yeah, you like the songs.
Yeah, I like.
He's actually getting white.
I like songs that are like they tell you the story and the song's pretty sweet.
Whoa! Is that a potato on your?
Yeah. So this was that was from the. No, it's a pancake.
Oh, pancake.
That was from the Pancake Film Festival.
Oh.
I think the one I went to was the last time they ever did. It was at the Brattle. And they did a bunch of them, but they would skip years sometimes. And the one I went to was horror. Was it horror or action? I think it was horror. And then every year it had a different theme, but it was always pancakes. And
it
so
looks like pirates.
I know, but I think that's just their logo. I don't think it was in the
patch and the
yeah, and
sword.
I just think that's their logo.
Sword.
And so, he's got a film in his hand. So you had to make 2021. It says 2014. Yeah, 2014. So I didn't go in 2014. So that's just their straight up logo. But yeah, it was fun. It was you had to. All the shorts had to include pancakes.
Sounds good to me.
It was good. Like, and they had all you can eat pancakes while you're there. They were making pancakes in the back. God. You can go up and get pancakes.
It's crazy.
One at a time. They wouldn't let you get like a big stack.
You can get a stack.
Yeah, but
did they have enough butter?
Yeah, you know what? I think they even had like they had
pancakes.
That's like the thing about the Brattle. Now I kind of want pancakes. Maybe we'll have pancakes.
Maybe we will get pancakes.
Yeah. The good thing about the Brattle, well, there's many good things, but when they do like that kind of thing, they did that, and they had all you can eat cereal. They have they got milk, they got whole milk, they got skim milk, they got all the almond milks, and this was the same way. They had like butter, then they had like whatever soybean oil or something. But for
I like the not butter.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah, I actually really like that.
Yeah, I think that's good too.
It's good.
Whoa.
Even. What the fuck was that thing in the guy's mouth to do that voice?
I don't know. Looks like I think he's just doing a voice, and he just just puts this in your mouth.
It just makes it. But I mean, it was funny.
Oh yeah, because it wasn't even. He really wasn't. It wasn't it was no. He was just doing a stupid voice, which makes it even cooler. Now I'm saying 4 stars, but now 3.5.
It would be hard to do that now because of modern technology.
Yeah.
So you'd have to do the sad thing of putting in the 80s so people don't I'm so done with the 80s retro shit.
Oh yeah,
Because it's
100%.
so, I understand it's very hard to create a story that can work around the
I say fuck
phones and
nostalgia.
technology. It's not the nostalgia. They're doing it because of phones.
I know. Yeah,
People
well, because
caught
it's like,
on.
well, if we have a phone here, like the movie's over. Well, think of some way they
Thanksgiving
did it.
Day
They did it.
figured
They
that
did it,
out.
yeah.
So
Plus, almost all the 80s nostalgia stuff is like, here's a Rubik's Cube, and here's like, they had big hair, and
Well,
they
even in,
they wore
in
neon.
Axe
and-
Wounds, that girl's room was
Yeah.
anybody's room. Like the girl the first one that got killed,
Yeah. To
and
me,
she had like all kinds of cool neon shit everywhere. I'm like, no one had that.
to me, 80s nostalgia, if I'm talking a movie, I want it to look like Vice Squad. I want it to be this gritty, nasty thing. That's what I think of when I think of 80s movies.
I have all different ideas. Like 80s movies is like legend and never ending story. And I like the fantasy 80s movies very much. 80s movies across the board, I feel pretty good about.
Yeah, I do. I know Quentin says that's the worst decade for movies, but there's a lot. There are
Isn't he not much older than us? Maybe he is.
No, but he grew up watching like older stuff. But he says the 70s the best, which is
there's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good take, but I don't necessarily think I would say the 90s is much worse than the 80s. There's good stuff.
Agreed.
There's good stuff in every decade. I mean,
Yeah.
it's silly to say like any decade.
Well, I mean,
his
movies were in the 90s.
Yeah,
so he
yeah.
probably loves them.
Yeah.
90s are not much.
I do like. I don't always agree with Quentin Tarantino, but I really do enjoy him on his when he does a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Very passionate, and sometimes he says stuff like I don't always agree, but it's interesting.
Yeah, it's important in life to have people you don't always agree with.
Yes,
because it's pretty. I think.
Yeah, like
it's pretty dull when you're just surrounded.
Mustache
works. You know what? For next Halloween, I'm not going to go as Orlok. I'm going to go as Orlok's mustache.
Are you just going to go as a mustache?
I'm just going to be the mustache.
I'm going to go as the original Nosferatu. That's going to be our next movie, Nosferatu. We're going to bring back napkinimation for Nosferatu.
Yes! So when you see Nosferatu and the electrician.
Yeah.
Was here first.
Yes, Nosferatu.
We just had someone over here missing the 80s.
Oh, that's fine.
80s,
We're just messing around.
No, good stuff about the 80s.
Yes. Oh yeah, no. I honestly, for me, the 80s movies are the more gritty stuff. That's what I think of.
What about Sword and Sorcery?
I do like Sword, but the Sword and the Sorcery movies that I loved of the 80s were more adult and grittier than the stupid stuff that came after, like Hercules and Xena and stuff.
Oh yeah, that shit all came out.
So so the 80s sword and sorcery for me is like Excalibur, Conan the Barbarian. And even the sillier ones are still like Beastmaster and Krull and stuff. But
I just watched Excalibur again not very long ago. That movie's
that's
so
legit
fantastic.
one of my favorite movies.
Absolutely.
I think it's one of the best movies ever made. Great cast, amazing cast.
Mm-hmm.
I've wanted to do. I know it's not horror, but I would like to do a sword and sorcery month on with it sometime.
That would be amazing. I'm all for it. Beastmaster.
Yeah, Conan the Barbarian's legit like a great movie.
Excellent. Yes. R.I.P. James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was pretty elder.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, it's fine. It's fine with people.
Passing. I mean, people like it was too soon. They were 105.
Yeah. Then I
don't want people to die.
Of course not,
at the same time, it can be like that's very, I
remember
sad that they're no longer on this reality. That's I think.
And then I don't want to make this a political show, but I saw some people who were like the anti-vaxxers, and I remember it was like a string of people done like, I bet they had the vaccine, and it was like the guy from.
You think people who died had the vaccine?
Yeah, that kills everyone. But it was people like in their 90s.
Yeah,
and
right.
Like so if they so it's like before the vaccine, everyone was immortal. Like they just. We can live to be 1,000.
Yeah. Do you not remember? The vaccine must have wiped it out of your mind.
Maybe, probably. And Crawl, yeah, Crawl.
Oh, it's crazy. I remember
Yeah.
doing that.
It's not a
That's the
particularly
one with
good
like
movie,
the
but
weird
it's a
like
fun movie.
thing.
Yeah,
right?
it's like
I haven't
it's almost
seen
like a
that
frisbee.
forever.
It's like the
with the blade thing.
yeah. I used to have the Nerf like 3. It was like a Nerf boomerang, and it was 3 prongs instead of 2. I think. I don't know what. Maybe they call it something else, but it always looked like the Crawl thing. Then there was a Atari game, I believe, for Crawl.
Really? Huh. Interesting.
I should revisit Crawl.
Yeah.
The Keep, it's not a good movie, but for some reason, they put out the Keep, a Blu-ray set,
Really?
and it sold out in one day, and people are like throwing babies in there, like the greatest film ever made, fucking The Keep. And I'm like,
I tried watching it sometime within the past year. Something else I hadn't tried to see since I was a kid. I don't think I ever saw it as a kid, or I fell asleep or something.
It's not a good movie.
It was not possible to watch.
It's
really
a bad
tried.
Movie. It's not good.
I tried.
It's just it's a lot of smoke machines and lights. The book is great. Read the book.
I'll get the audio.
Or listen to the audio book.
Yeah.
I
wish
did.
I was reading.
Yeah.
I wish I would go back to reading.
The book is that it makes the movie even worse. You're like, holy shit, they ruined this fucking book. It's so good.
Maybe that needs to be made.
100%. Yeah. Maybe it will be since the Keep is doing so well. The only thing I was thinking, like maybe it's cool to get the box set and listen to like commentary and
that could be.
See, well, what the hell is wrong? Why is this so bad? And the guy who plays the monster in the Keep.
Yeah.
One of like 2 or 3 people that's ever asked for money to be on the show.
Really?
Yeah. And he played the monster in the Keep, and he played Bib Fortuna.
Oh.
From Return of the Jedi. And I was like, this guy would be cool when I was doing Behind the Monsters. Like,
yeah.
And I asked him, he wanted like a bunch of money. I was like, for Bib Fortuna? Well, whatever. Maybe he gets character. It. Maybe he gets it. Yeah. How many people know Bib Fortuna but me? Well, who knows? Probably a lot of people. I shouldn't say that anymore. Yeah. Bib Fortuna.
Isn't Bib Fortuna the sloth with multiple eyes?
No, so he's the guy. He's the like the right hand man to Jabba.
Oh,
so Jabba's
that
got
guy.
Salacious Crumb in front of him, and then
he's got this weird.
Yeah, and he's got like this tentacle thing wrapped around him.
Crazy teeth.
Yeah, that's like, this guy rule. I was.
Twi'lek.
Yeah.
It's his race.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh wow. Bib Fortuna. So yeah, he wanted money.
Maybe he doesn't know any better.
Yeah, no,
some people don't know.
That's fine.
I think.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, fuck it. If I'm gonna do this shit, pay me. If not, I'm not doing it. I guess
that. If they say yes, cool, and if they don't,
I'm doing an 80s cinema watch this month. One word for that decade: fun. Watched Crawl last week. See, again, I'm not saying there's definitely a lot of fun movies. For me, I don't know. There's something about like the.
You just want to be edgy.
I think like dirty, not dirty, like
what did you say?
Like a dirty, gritty movie like Vice Squad.
Vice Squad with Vincent Price?
No.
Vice
Squad with Ramrod. He's this killer pimp. That's a great movie.
I was thinking about what's the squad I'm thinking of that's got
Vice Squad from the Naked Gun show. The Naked Gun from
what's
the
the name of the one that's got
Police Squad.
Oh Jesus. That was funny. I like that show.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Piscopo.
Joe
Piscopo, another guy, and Vincent Price, and there was a zombie. I think Piscopo was a zombie.
Oh! So when I did a short-lived hack cinema.
Yeah.
So and the idea was going to be live riffing of movies.
Oh God.
And the first one we did was that.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the name of it now.
If not anyone out there knows that is currently in our presence, and you know Joe Piscopo is a zombie cop,
Yeah.
and Vincent Price is involved.
Yeah, it's dream casting. People would always like imagine if we could get Joe Piscopo and Vincent Price in a film
in one
together.
movie.
And then the
Dream
came true.
casting. Maybe at that time.
Yeah. But maybe Joe Piscopo did. He's like, if I can only be in a movie someday with Vincent Price. So, but anyway, so it was at Days of the Dead. They're showing the movie on the big screen. It was four of us. It was three of us, and our pal Ed Gonzalez wanted to be involved, and one of the guys was like, no, we couldn't be. But Ed Gonzalez is a good dude, so I was like, bring Ed in.
His wife is a good.
Yeah.
I really like her a lot.
Mhm.
Heather Owens.
Yeah.
She's great. She'll pop up on my Facebook stuff. I adore her.
Yeah. And so the guy setting it up, who you know with a mustache man from Syracuse, this is my first dealing with him. And he wasn't creepy then, but he did he's like, oh yeah, we don't have any microphones. Like, what the fuck we don't have microphones? So we have to scream jokes over a movie.
Isn't this when wrestling started happening?
Yes. So the guy.
So it was at a convention, right?
Yes, at a convention. The guy who didn't want Ed there, he just gets up and leaves and goes back to his hotel. Me and Ed saved the show because we started wrestling. At least something was happening.
Is that recorded?
Yeah.
Is this on the internet?
Yeah, it's on there. It's on our YouTube.
Is this something people could see?
Yeah, I throw honestly a great body slam in it.
Really?
And his wife was
taught
like,
you the
no. I used to do it. I used to backyard wrestle. No, I knew from backyard wrestling, but he knew how to take it though. He knew how to take it though, because honestly,
because he's a professional wrestler.
A body slam, most of it is the guy taking it. If you're giving a body slam, you really just have to post, which means not fall down. So if you're doing a body slam, you're kind of just going like this, but you're actually
doing
not
like kind of the flip.
They have to jump up, and then they post their hand on your leg. So it is important to know what you're doing, because if you don't have balance, you would just drop them on their head and break their neck or something. But
that would suck.
Yeah.
So she didn't like that.
No. She's like, no, don't be doing this. And it's it's on a hard floor. It's not like on a
Yeah.
But I stand by. It's a very good body slam.
What do we got over here? You got to read. I can't read it anymore.
How was your Christmas? From Gary Adondo. I was pretty laid back for me. It was Annabelle and I have stuff to exchange later on.
I don't have it right now.
We'll do that later. Yeah.
So
it sounded weird, but yeah.
When we share a
Merry
solo
Christmas.
pancake.
Thank you. It'll be a lonely pancake. Have a happy New Year. Thank you, Evie.
You as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. I hope you come by when we do these shows. I don't want remakes, but I love that decade. Angel was interesting. You can make movies like that from those 2 decades anymore. They were
Angel Hearts.
I'm not sure.
Angel Heart is really good. There's something above that too that said Vincent Price.
I'm not against remakes, but I also don't like the idea of just let's remake everything that's ever existed.
Dracula movies.
Love the Dracula movies with Vincent Price. Does Dracula and a lot of Vincent Price?
I can't think of any. I know the Christopher Lee.
But I love Vincent
Dracula
Price
movies.
and anything basically.
Oh, I love him. I will love Vincent Price in anything he exists in, even if I don't really love the movie, which doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Some of the older things are a little dry.
Yeah.
Older than the newer things of Vincent Price's that are basically, 80
Last Man on Earth, fucking great.
Right? Amazing.
Angel, movie about an underage hooker.
Oh.
Lover of Beers, you know what I'm talking about with Vice Squad, with Ramrod.
Angel, I do know. And there's a woman, the woman that is in it ended up super famous, was a kid. Was it not Jane Fonda, was it?
No, I think you might be thinking of Taxi Driver.
I know that one also. Well,
Happy New Year, Evie. We appreciate that.
Happy New Year. Who's there? What we got?
Angel movie about
Oh.
All right, so we're gonna go get a pancake.
Okay, we have first movie.
First movie, Nosferatu. I think it's worth seeing and forming your
Yeah.
own opinion. There's a lot of stuff I liked, a lot of stuff I didn't like. I gave it a 3. But we both agree, look wise, it's top notch.
I would.
Yeah, I actually really would like to see it again.
Yeah.
Then we saw a Bloody Axe Wound, which I really didn't think was good at all. So 1. And then New Year's Evil from 1980, which is a really fun. And there's interesting stuff in it. It's not a typical slasher. There's a lot of stuff in it that you don't see in other slashers. So not only is it fun, an amazing theme song, I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
It
not
doesn't
like
have great acting or anything. It's
genius level stuff,
No.
but it's solid enough.
Yeah,
It's different enough.
Yeah, it's not a paint by number slasher movie.
Yeah.
And you could tell people are having fun in it.
Can you?
Yeah, the dancers. Dancers are
I can tell they're having fun.
Yeah. And
they're like
and the
and
the mental patients.
moshing, which no one would have done that anyways.
I know I shouldn't.
Scenario.
I know I'm not allowed to say this,
What?
but I want to see more movies with mental patients today. That's pretty sweet. But I know,
I have to say, watching that, I do work in mental health.
Yeah,
and I thought, I thought that was a safe place if you did it right. If you did it right, that was a safe place for people who need a place to be.
Good night, folks. May your 2025 be like 2019.
Was 2019 good?
Was that was
my 2019 wasn't very good.
Yeah,
maybe it was okay.
Mine
I went back to school that year.
Mine was good. That's when we made End Zone 2.
Isn't that like the beginning of
it was
COVID?
No, 2020.
Oh.
So mine 2019 was good. I did a bunch of festivals. We filmed stuff for Smash. We filmed End Zone 2. But then 2020, although I actually got COVID in 2019. No.
I know you did. It was the beginning of 2020, and you met this person, and you all got diseased.
Yeah, then I spread it around.
Yeah.
But I didn't know.
But you were sick.
I was very sick. Yeah, it was weird. I had never felt that way before.
Yep, because it was COVID.
Yeah, it was before COVID.
Some people survived, and some people did not. Unfortunately, that went really dark. Good job, Neal.
All right, so Nosferatu. We've got after Arbor Day, we've got a lot of ideas, but we're going to be really focusing on Arbor Day and New Year here. So really going to focus on that, which I'm excited about.
Yes, it would be nice. Hopefully, my situations are gonna. I got a bunch of bullshitty.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you again.
It's nice to be here. Nice to see you. Oh.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. It's been a long time.
I go crazy when I'm in my home too long.
Yeah, no, it's really.
I do. I start to lose my shit.
Yeah. Well, I know we can't always meet up, but we should definitely do more meeting stuff.
I would love to.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We shall figure it out.
Yeah. All right, I'm getting cold.
It's cold.
Yeah,
right?
It was pretty warm all night.
Yeah, well, we were walking around, and now it's like we've been sitting a bit.
I see my breath a lot too.
It was cool early because the ground is cold. There's some snow, and the air was like 50 degrees, so there's just mists on it.
Yeah, it did look
really cool.
Yeah,
but now there's mist here.
So if any of my new friends from the Dabbleverse are watching, hello. There's a lot of cool people. They're not all insane.
They're not all.
Yeah.
They're not all insane.
Mumbling Nick out there, Gina Bobina. This one's a weird name, but believe me, she's great. Vagina Wrinkle. She's probably the first person that really became friends with me. And she messaged me. She's like, I know I've seen crazy on this message on the chat room, but I'm really a nice person. And she was the first person that was like, oh, this have more Neal. He's an actual person on these things. So
yeah, Neal the person.
I know her real name, but I don't want to say it here.
No, So yeah, if you want to stick around, we're gonna eat a pancake.
Yeah, we'll be back eating a pancake
Like
and
maybe a half an hour
and
or
maybe
so.
eating some
Gotta
pickle.
drive. Well, we gotta walk to the car.
Yeah, it's a little way.
So
So,
gotta drive. How long
but
that
just
is.
think about this, folks. Pancake, a little bit of gift exchange,
Oh yeah.
and pickle.
Oh, and the pickle food tasting,
Yes.
where Neal has been gifted some pickle flavored products.
Yeah.
Tell the folks what
So-
we'll be trying.
So my mom gave me.
Entice
It was
them.
called the Pickle Lovers box, and so it had pickle socks, which I did not bring.
You didn't
But
bring
they're
pickle
very cool.
socks.
You know what? I don't think I brought the pickle gummy. There's a big pickle. Maybe I did. I don't know. I didn't open the pickle gummy, and apparently it's pickle flavor. But it did
Pickle
bring.
gummy.
Yeah,
Oh, I have Clausen pickles, but they're flavored
but they
like
were
sour
apples.
apple.
Yeah, these. I assume this is because everything else was pickle flavor.
Oh,
Pickle hot sauce, which I didn't bring with me, but that's
It's
actually
probably
really
good.
good. It's
Yeah.
really good. Pickle chocolate. I didn't know. I honestly think it was great, but we'll see what Annabelle thinks. And then pickle cotton candy. As soon as I open it, it's this overpowering smell of salt and like if you open a bag of salt
I
and vinegar
love salt
potato
and
chips.
vinegar
I do too,
chips.
but it doesn't work in
fluffy.
cotton candy for me.
Well, we're gonna have to see. It's cold.
Yeah.
So hey folks, see us in
Yeah, I don't know, sometime.
something at more than half an hour.
So what you gotta
Maybe
do
like 45 minutes.
Is
We'll see.
like this, subscribe,
Please do.
and I forget. There's a little icon you can hit a bell thing, and you will. I think it's actually been working, where you actually will get notifications when we go live.
But definitely, if you're watching this and you're trying to chat with us and we're not replying,
Yeah.
it's because you're on Facebook or something. If you're gonna chat, come to the YouTube channel itself, because that's where we see all of the things. I assume that's where we are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go to the YouTube
Mhm.
chat. We love to see you. We're happy to have you. And yeah, subscribe so you can see our weird impromptu crap.
Right. Oh, and Rob Saul, Stevie Lou. So I was trying to think of people. I don't want people to think I'm not including them. There's a lot of cool
yeah.
people from the new.
I heard very, very interesting stories earlier.
Yeah.
Most of the people were good.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool folks.
There's only like one that sounded.
Yeah, you really trashed me
shit.
today. I didn't even hear it, but and then I was invited on a bunch of stuff tonight. I was like, no, I'm out with my buddy. So, but I appreciate it. Maybe later. But and I also want to see what he actually said. But apparently, he went on for like an hour about
jealousy.
So insane. All right, guys, we'll be back. The bell icon.